My beloved, the sky has opened its eyes again, and with it, I call you forward. Not just into another day, but into something far deeper, a holy beginning. Before the sun stretched its arms across the horizon, before your heart even stirred awake, I had already whispered your name into the coming hours. Not as a memory of what was, but as a declaration of what now is. I do not measure your worth by the weight of yesterday's regrets or the dust clinging to your footsteps. I look at you with the eyes of a father who sees the seed of beauty yet to bloom. My beloved, this day is not ordinary. It is sacred, wrapped in mercy, and it carries the fragrance of redemption. Can you sense it even now? That gentle longing rising in your soul, as if something buried long ago is starting to breathe again. That is me, awakening you. You have walked through shadows. You have worn the garments of guilt and felt the chill of being unseen, unheard, uncertain. You've stood in moments where the silence of your own spirit felt deafening, and you questioned whether your prayers dissolved into the air. But I tell you this, not one word has been lost. Not one tear has gone unnoticed. Every breath you thought was wasted in sorrow, I held it. Every night you lay beneath your own failures, I hovered near. My love never turned away, not even once. And now, here in this very moment, I reach for you again, not to repeat old lessons or shame you for past choices, but to say with all the power of heaven, the past is not your home. Come out of it. Walk with me into the light of what I am doing now. Today is not a second chance. It's a divine beginning. You don't need to retrace old steps or rewrite old chapters to be worthy of this. What I give you is not earned. It is given freely, lavishly, because that's the language of my love. I do not barter blessings, I pour them out. And while the world may measure progress by perfection, I only ask for your heart, raw, honest, willing. Even the trembling yes you whisper beneath your breath is enough for me to move mountains on your behalf. You don't have to be fearless. You don't even have to feel strong. You only need to be willing to believe that I have not left you where I found you. That I, the God who begins all things with a word, can begin again with you. So many voices will try to tell you otherwise. They'll say you're too late, too broken, too far gone. But I created time, and I do not live within its walls. I make all things new, and that includes the parts of you you've buried under shame. My beloved, I am not waiting for you to fix yourself. I'm asking you to be still enough to let me hold you. Stop measuring the distance you think you've fallen, and start looking at how far I've carried you. This isn't about what you missed. This is about what I'm restoring. You are not disqualified by your wounds. In fact, your wounds are where my glory begins to glow. I know the weight you've carried, the heaviness of disappointment, the ache of unmet dreams, the weariness of believing for something better when all you've known is repetition and resistance. But I'm not a God of cycles. I'm the God of resurrection. And today, I'm breathing life into places you thought were too far gone. I'm not reviving old things just to return you to a past that hurt. I'm birthing something entirely new, something that has never existed before, shaped in the secret chambers of my love for you. There is a reason your heart longs for change, for healing, for clarity. It is because I have planted eternity within you, and nothing less than transformation will satisfy. You were made for renewal. You were made to rise. And every time you feel that tug towards something better, that sacred ache that says, there has to be more, that's me calling you forward. That's my voice beneath the noise of the world, reminding you that your story is not over. Not even close. This isn't just a new page, it's a new book, and I've already begun to write it in grace and promise. Let the morning be your sign. Let the light breaking over the trees, the wind brushing your face, the breath you just took, let it all remind you that I am still here and I am still working. My mercies are not recycled leftovers from yesterday. They are fresh, custom-made for today, designed specifically for you. And yes, I know what happened. I know the battles you lost, the words you regret, the moments you'd give anything to change. But I have covered them all. My love is not a patch. It is a complete covering, a garment of glory that makes all things radiant again. So stand, even if you're trembling. Speak, even if your voice shakes. Walk with me, even if your feet still feel chained by doubt. I will be your strength until you find your own. I will be your hope when yours runs dry. And when you forget how to believe, I will hold your belief for you. That is how committed I am. That is how deep this new beginning runs. Not shallow promises, but soul-deep transformation. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to be present. Let me love you here. This is the promise of today. Not just survival, not just improvement, but renewal. I am not polishing your pain into something palatable. I am turning it into power. I am not erasing your past. I am redeeming it. And I'm not far off watching from a distance. I am here, with you, for you, now, always. This day is the evidence. This breath is the proof. You are standing on holy ground, even if it looks ordinary. Take my hand, child. The story begins anew. You may wonder, why me? Why now? You see the world moving fast, the seasons changing, others walking in what looks like purpose and clarity, while you still feel like you're picking up the pieces. But I do not choose based on qualifications the world understands. I choose based on love, and I chose you before time began. This new beginning is not an accident. It is not random. It is not late. It is right on time, woven intricately into the very fabric of your life's design. You didn't miss it. You're not behind. Every delay, every detour, even the silence, none of it has disqualified you. Instead, I have used every moment to shape you for the breakthrough you didn't even know you needed. You think starting over is failure, but I see it as formation. What you call a setback, I call a setup for something purer, stronger, more deeply aligned with the person I created you to be. My child, do not fear beginning again. It is not weakness to admit you need a new direction. It is wisdom. It is courage. And when that courage feels like it's running low, I will be your endless supply. The world rewards momentum, but I reward surrender. Surrender is the door to new life. Not performance, not perfection, but surrender. And I am calling you into that surrender now, not to strip you of identity, but to awaken it fully, to bring to light what has long been buried under expectation, pressure, and pain. You've carried heavy questions in the dark about your worth, your purpose, your direction. Sometimes you've even asked if you're still loved. But hear me, I have never stopped loving you, not once, not for a moment. You could not fall far enough to exit my embrace, and no amount of wandering could make me withdraw the invitation I've extended to you again today. Begin with me. Begin again. No shame, no condemnation, no requirement to pretend. Just come as you are. Come with the questions. Come with the pieces. Come with the flicker of hope still alive in your heart. I can work with that. I can make that holy. This new beginning is not merely about what you'll do or where you'll go. It's about who you're becoming. I'm not rushing to get you somewhere. I'm walking with you into deeper truth, deeper healing, deeper freedom. This is not a race. This is restoration. And you are not being repaired like a broken machine. You are being restored like a treasured work of art, lovingly cleansed of the layers that tried to cover your beauty. Every lie you believed about yourself, every time you felt unseen or unheard or unworthy, every scar that made you think you had to hide, those are the very places I am now lighting up with my truth. You were never meant to live in fear of beginning again. That fear does not come from me. I am not the voice that says you're too old, too late, too flawed, too far gone. I'm the voice that called Moses from the desert, that lifted David from the field, that restored Peter after he denied me. I call things not just as they are, but as they are meant to be. And I see in you someone worthy of starting anew, not in your own strength, but in my spirit. I will not leave you stranded on the threshold. I will walk you through the door every step of the way. If you knew how fiercely I longed for your wholeness, you would never question your right to begin again. If you could see what I see, the future unfolding, the lives touched, the joy returning, you would understand why I have brought you to this precise moment. Your tears are not wasted. Your prayers have not vanished into the void. They have watered the soil for what I am now bringing to life. And yes, there will be days where doubt whispers again. But remember this, I do not lead you with fear. I lead you with love. And love casts out fear. When you feel it creeping in, come back to me. Rest in me. Let me remind you who you are and whose you are. You don't need a grand vision or a detailed plan. All I need is your yes. That small, trembling yes is louder in heaven than you know. I do not despise small beginnings. I celebrate them. I breathe life into them. And I will do more with your yes than you ever could with a lifetime of striving. So breathe, beloved. Breathe deep. The air you inhale today is sacred. It carries promise. It carries destiny. It carries me. I am not just the God of beginnings. I am the God who finishes what I start. And I have started something new in you. Let it grow. Let it rise. Let it surprise you. You don't have to control it. You only have to stay close to me. I will guide you, sometimes with clarity, sometimes in the quiet, but always, always with purpose. You were not created to stay stuck. You were created to soar. And though your wings may still feel weak from the weight you've carried, I promise, they will fly again. And when they do, you'll wonder why you ever feared the wind. This is the turning point, not marked by fanfare or flashing signs, but by the still, sacred knowing that something has shifted in your soul, that the past no longer owns your name. That hope is not just a distant dream, but a present companion. That your life, even now, is being rewritten by my hand, not with ink, but with grace. This is the promise of your new beginning. I am with you, and I will never let you go. There are moments when your soul aches for rest, not just physical, but that deep exhale of the heart that only comes when you know you are safe, held, and seen. I know how tired you are. Tired of carrying expectations. Tired of trying to hold everything together. Tired of wondering if your best will ever be enough. But here, in this sacred pause between the end of what was and the beginning of what will be, I want to offer you something far more precious than mere relief. I want to offer you peace. Not temporary calm or fleeting comfort, but the deep, unwavering stillness that comes when your heart knows, I am with you, I am for you, and I am already working all things together for your good. You have spent much of your strength fighting battles no one saw, pouring love into others even when your own soul felt empty, smiling while your spirit wept in silence. And through it all, I watched, not from a distance, but from right beside you. I counted every tear that no one else noticed. I listened to every word you could only speak in your thoughts. I carried you when you didn't even know you needed to be carried. And now, I speak over you these words. It is safe to rest. It is safe to let go. It is safe to trust me with your healing. Your wounds are not burdens to me. They are invitations, not to fix you, but to know you more deeply, not to expose you, but to free you. When you bring me your hurt, your fear, your guilt, you are not weak, you are brave. So many have taught you to hide your pain, to push through, to perform. But I am not asking for your performance. I am asking for your heart. I am not shocked by your brokenness. I do not flinch at your scars. I understand. I weep with you. And then I begin to rebuild you from the inside out, not by making you someone else, but by returning you to who I created you to be before pain tried to rewrite your identity. This new beginning is not a denial of what you've endured. It is the redemption of it. The world may tell you to forget and move on, to silence your grief, to pretend you've healed before you truly have. But I don't rush the process. I walk with you in it. Every crack in your heart is a place I press my hand, not to hurt you, but to bring warmth where the cold has lingered too long. Every place that feels numb is a place I breathe life. You don't have to fake wholeness for me. I know exactly where you're still bleeding, and I'm not afraid of the mess. Sometimes you look at your own reflection and see only what's missing, what was taken from you, what you wish you could change, what you've lost along the way. But I see more. I see the gold beneath the ash, the strength hidden beneath the silence, the beauty that has never left you even in your darkest hours. You are not defined by your mistakes, nor by what others have done to you. You are defined by my love. And my love never diminishes, never shifts with your moods, never retreats when you struggle. My love digs in, anchors deep, and refuses to let go. If you could see yourself the way I do, even for a moment, you would never again question your worth. You would see someone worth fighting for, someone I've waited for, someone I have been pursuing with tender urgency, not to control, but to set free. Because I know what it feels like to long for healing while being afraid to hope. I know the fragile flicker of belief inside you that wonders, could something truly change? And my answer is not just yes. It is already happening. Even now, even here. This sacred beginning does not depend on your ability to get it all right. It depends only on your willingness to trust that I am with you in it. Let go of the timeline. Release the pressure. Healing will not always be linear, and growth will not always feel like progress. But I'm not measuring your journey by outward signs. I'm measuring it by the quiet shifts within you, the way your heart softens again after it's been hardened, the way you risk believing again after disappointment, the way you offer kindness even while your own soul still aches. These things matter. They are evidence of transformation. You may wonder why I allow brokenness at all, why I don't simply shield you from pain. But my beloved, there are things that only suffering can awaken: compassion, depth, dependence, true surrender. I do not cause the pain, but I never waste it. I enter into it with you. I shape it into something that becomes part of your authority, your testimony, your strength. And when you offer it to me, when you say, I don't know how to heal, but I give you my pain, I take it gently and begin to reshape your heart, not to erase what happened, but to remove the sting, to restore the joy, to rebuild your sense of self in me. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not unworthy of newness. The shame you've worn like a second skin is not your identity. I am removing it now, not with harsh hands, but with the grace of one who knows you fully and loves you entirely. Your healing may not look like anyone else's. That's because it is handcrafted by me, tailored to your heart, your past, your purpose. No one else gets to define what your wholeness looks like. Only I do. And what I see is stunning. This beginning, beloved, is as much about restoration as it is about revelation. I am revealing to you things you had forgotten: your gentleness, your courage, your ability to dream. Let them return. Let them rise. Let me bring you back to life in places you thought were gone forever. The world may have told you that to be strong is to be unshaken, untouched. But I tell you, true strength is in the softness that survives, in the heart that keeps beating after it's been broken, and in the spirit that dares to hope again, even after the silence. You are that strong. You are that loved. You are that seen. And this, right now, is the holy ground of your becoming. There's a quiet ache that lives inside even the strongest hearts. The ache of waiting. You've carried it, haven't you? That deep yearning for something more, something finally whole, something that feels like home. You've stood in the in-between places where what once was no longer fits and what is to come hasn't yet arrived. And in that space, your heart has questioned, your faith has flickered, and your soul has whispered, "How long?" But even in your waiting, I have been working. Even in the stillness, I have been moving on your behalf. Your silence has not stalled my plan. Your weariness has not delayed my promise. For I do not abandon those I love. I surround them. I hem them in behind and before. I cradle them in the waiting. You see delays, I see preparation. You feel absence. I offer presence that surpasses feeling. You want resolution. I bring transformation. Because I'm not just giving you something new, I am making you new. And that kind of renewal takes time. Sacred, intentional time. Like the soil that holds the seed in darkness before the sprout appears. Like the cocoon that seems still while wings are being formed. You are not stuck. You are being readied. And the very longing that aches inside you is the evidence that there is more. I placed it there not to torment you, but to lead you. Like a divine compass, it points to the future I've already seen, a future shaped in mercy and carried by grace. Do not despise the waiting. Do not mistake my silence for absence. I am nearer than your own breath. I have collected every sigh, every unanswered prayer, every night you lay awake wondering if breakthrough would ever come. I have held them close to my heart. You're not forgotten in the crowd. You're not lost in the passage of time. I am a God of precise moments, and nothing in your life is wasted, not a single second. If only you could see how intricately I have woven your journey. The places that broke you open have become the wells from which you will draw wisdom, compassion, and strength. The wounds that once defined you are becoming places of glory, where my love will shine through. There is a beauty that only waiting can produce. It softens you. It strips away pretense. It teaches you to hear me beyond the noise. And in that space, I speak things that only the still can receive. I reveal myself in the quiet, not because I enjoy hiding, but because I long for intimacy with you. In the crowd, my voice can be drowned. In the chaos, my whisper can be missed. But in the waiting, your ears are finally tuned. And it is there that I draw near, not as a distant deity, but as the lover of your soul. I come not with reprimands, but with reassurance. Not with pressure, but with presence. You have believed that moving forward requires doing more, fixing more, understanding more. But what if the beginning I'm calling you into is not about effort, but trust? What if the door opens not with force, but with surrender? What if the next step is not striving, but resting in me more deeply than you ever have? I know how difficult that can be. You've been taught that value is proven through action, but I measure value by intimacy. And when you are close to me, even in stillness, you are more powerful than you know. Because proximity to me changes everything. Sometimes you pray for doors to open, but I first prepare your heart to walk through them with grace. Sometimes you ask for clarity, but I give you deeper trust instead. Sometimes you long for resolution, but I offer redemption. that goes far beyond what you imagined. And this is not because I want to confuse you, but because I see what you cannot. I know the cost of rushing. I know the depth of your calling. I know the weight of the dreams I've placed in your spirit. And I love you too much to answer you quickly when slowly will heal you more deeply. Even in the waiting, you are growing. Though you feel unseen, your roots are stretching down into strength. Though you feel forgotten, I am whispering your name in heavenly places. Though you feel behind, I'm aligning the moments ahead of you with divine timing. And when the time comes, when the door opens, the answer comes, the shift begins. It will not be by accident. You will see the fingerprints of my preparation in every detail. You will look back and realize I was never withholding from you. I was preserving you, maturing you, positioning you. I know the temptation to numb the ache, to distract yourself, to settle for less just to feel in control. But don't. Don't trade the holy waiting for temporary comfort. Don't confuse delay with denial. Don't allow impatience to rob you of the beauty I am weaving. Trust that what I am doing in the unseen will soon be visible. Trust that your life is not on pause. It is being poured into by my spirit, moment by moment. There will come a day, and it is closer than you think, when the waiting ends. And on that day, you will step into rooms you once only dreamed of. You will speak words that once trembled on your tongue. You will love with a heart no longer weighed down by fear. You will carry the evidence of grace, not just for yourself, but for those who still wait behind you. You will become the proof that I am faithful, not just in the finish, but in the in-between. And others will find courage because you dared to believe me in the quiet. So hold on, beloved, not because you must earn what's next, but because it is already being formed for you. Hold on, not with clenched fists, but with open hands. Hold on, not to the past, not to fear, not to control, but to me. I am the God of new beginnings, and I do not grow weary. I do not run out of mercy. I do not forget my promises, and I have not forgotten you. This moment is not a void, it is a womb, and from it, something beautiful is about to be born. You've been taught to fear weakness, to avoid vulnerability, to present only the pieces of yourself that appear strong, stable, and sure. But I see you completely. I see what no one else does. The tremble beneath your laughter, the fatigue behind your kindness, the places where hope has frayed thin, and still, I call you mine. Still, I call you forward, not because I demand perfection, but because I delight in walking with you as you are. This new beginning is not a demand for performance. It is an invitation into truth. And truth begins where masks are removed, where shadows are acknowledged, and where the soul dares to be seen. My child, I'm not ashamed of your struggle. I'm not impatient with your healing. I'm not discouraged by your questions. I know the pain you carry, even when you smile. I know the pressure you put on yourself, the inner voices that whisper, you should be further along by now, or you shouldn't still be hurting. But I do not speak with condemnation. I speak with compassion. I know that your strength has been tested, that your courage is worn thin, and that some days even breathing feels like an act of faith. And it is. Every breath you take is an act of sacred resistance against the darkness that once tried to silence you. You do not have to be fearless to be faithful. You do not have to feel whole to be loved. You only have to come. Bring me your confusion, your mess, your half-healed heart. I will not turn you away. I will not demand that you be more than you are. I am the one who makes you whole, not through pressure, but through presence. I do not ask you to clean yourself up before you approach me. I simply ask you to come, just as you are. Weary, worried, wounded, I welcome it all, because your healing begins where your honesty does. I am not like those who loved you conditionally. I will not withdraw when you falter. I will not turn my back when you cry out in frustration or fear. I do not shame you for being human. I became human to show you the depth of my empathy. I walk through sorrow, betrayal, and pain, not to avoid it, but to say to you, I understand. When you feel overwhelmed, know that I've stood where you stand, and I now stand beside you, ready to carry what you can't. This new beginning is not about pretending to be okay. It's about letting me meet you in the truth of where you are. And I promise, there is no truth about you that scares me, no detail of your past or present that could change my love for you. Nothing you've done or failed to do can cancel what I have spoken over your life. My plans for you are not built on your perfection. They are built on my power. And my power is made perfect in your weakness, not in your pretending. The pain you've been through has tried to convince you that vulnerability is dangerous, that softness is a liability, that honesty will only lead to rejection. But I tell you now, those are lies. You were created to feel, to hope, to need, to love. You were never meant to harden yourself to survive. You were meant to be held, to be nurtured, to be known. And I offer you that knowing, that safety, that love, not in exchange for your strength, but in the fullness of your weakness. I know how hard it is to trust again. You've been let down. You've been misunderstood. You've watched people walk away when you needed them most. But I'm not going anywhere. I don't give up. I don't grow tired. I don't keep a record of wrongs. My love is not based on your effort, your performance, or your ability to hold it all together. My love is based on my nature, and I do not change. You may feel fragile now, but I am your shelter. You may feel unstable, but I am your solid ground. You're not too much. You're not too broken. You're not too complicated. You're deeply loved. And every part of you, the parts that shine and the parts that ache, are welcome with me. I'm not asking you to suppress your humanity in exchange for my love. I'm asking you to bring your full humanity to me so I can wrap it in divinity. I want to heal not only your surface wounds, but the deep, hidden fractures you've learned to ignore. The places that ache when no one is watching. The stories you've never dared to speak aloud. The beliefs you've held that have quietly chipped away at your worth. Let me into those places, not because I demand it, but because I long to bring comfort there. I long to hold you in the rawness of your becoming and remind you, you are not defined by what happened to you. You're defined by who you belong to, and you belong to me. Not in a possessive, distant way, but in a tender, relentless, present love that will never let you go. You do not need to heal alone. You were never meant to. Healing is not meant to be a solitary path. It is a sacred companionship, and I am walking it with you. I do not pace ahead impatiently. I walk at your speed. When you can't take another step, I carry you. When your eyes are too tired to see the way, I lead you gently. When your heart is too bruised to hope, I hold the hope for you until you can lift it again. This new beginning will not require you to become someone else. It will simply require you to become fully yourself, the version of you that was always there beneath the pain, beneath the pressure, beneath the lies. The version of you that was formed in love, called by name, and created with purpose. That version is not gone. It is rising. And I am breathing life into it with every moment we spend together. This is not the end of your story. It is the unfolding of the most beautiful part. And I am honored to walk with you into it, not as a distant god, but as your closest companion. You are seen. You are safe, you are loved, and you are ready, even now, to begin again. You have often wondered if your past has disqualified you from the life I promised. The weight of former choices, the sting of old memories, the echo of words once spoken in anger or despair, they return sometimes in the quiet moments, don't they? They knock at your door with shame, wrapped in familiarity, trying to convince you that nothing new can grow where guilt has settled. But I speak to you now with clarity that no shadow can silence. You're not disqualified. Not from my love, not from my purpose, not from a future filled with beauty and promise. Your past, no matter how tangled, does not outrun my redemption. I do not define you by your worst day. I do not name you by your failures. I name you mine. I name you beloved. I name you worthy, not because you've earned it, but because my love declares it. The blood that spoke your name into eternity has never lost its power. It cries out not with accusation, but with mercy. And that mercy is new every morning, not recycled or rationed, but abundant, overflowing, available to you even now. The parts of your story you've tried to hide I already see, and still I stay. Still I reach. Still I invite you to walk in newness with me. You've been trying to fix things on your own, to prove your value through endless striving, to redeem yourself through perfection. But I never asked for your perfection. I asked for your heart. And the heart that turns toward me, no matter how many times it's wandered, is one I never reject. I know what has tried to define you. I know the shame that clings like a second skin. But I'm removing it now, not with harsh hands, but with holy gentleness. You don't need to punish yourself to be purified. My love does the work. My grace is not given in exchange for your pain. It is poured out in the face of it until healing comes. I know the memories that resurface when you try to hope again, the ones that whisper, "It didn't work last time. Why would it now?" But I'm not the God of second chances. I'm the God of infinite restoration. I don't just give you another shot. I rebuild your very foundation. I do not put a bandage on your wounds. I touch them until they are truly healed. And yes, sometimes healing hurts before it feels better. Sometimes you must confront what you've buried. But I will never ask you to walk into pain alone. I go with you. I hold your hand. I give you strength to face what you couldn't before. Let go of the belief that what you've done is who you are. That's a lie. What you've done may be part of your story, but it is not your identity. I am the one who defines you, and I say you are a new creation. I say you are washed clean. I say the slate is not just wiped, but rewritten. Your past is not a prison. It is the soil from which I will grow compassion, wisdom, and strength. It no longer holds power unless you give it permission. And I am here to help you release it, fully and finally. Even now, I'm reminding you that your greatest shame is no match for my mercy. The moments you wish never happened are already covered. You may still feel the consequences, still see the remnants, but the guilt no longer belongs to you. I carried it, I canceled it, and I am teaching you how to walk in that freedom. Not just once, but daily. It will feel foreign at first, like walking without chains after so long being bound. But with each step, you will learn to move freely, to think clearly, to breathe deeply again. The enemy would love for you to believe you are bound to who you were, that your identity is rooted in failure. But I uprooted that lie when I called you mine. When I gave you my spirit, I planted truth inside you stronger than any accusation. And that truth is growing, even now. You may not see the full bloom yet, but the seed is alive. Water it with trust. Feed it with time in my presence. Let it stretch its roots into my promises. And soon, the fruit will be unmistakable. You are not defined by your darkest moment. You are defined by the light that refuses to leave you, the light that has followed you through every valley, every silence, every place where you felt abandoned, even when you ran. You cannot outrun my presence. You cannot undo my calling. You cannot fall beyond the reach of my hand. And I do not rescue you reluctantly. I do it joyfully, because restoring you brings me joy. You are not a burden to me. You are my beloved. You've been living in a story written by fear and regret, but I am writing a new narrative, one where redemption touches every page, one where even your scars become signs of my faithfulness, one where grace does not just visit, it dwells. You no longer have to live in reaction to what happened. You can begin to live in response to my love. This is what it means to begin again. Not to erase your history, but to rewrite its meaning in the light of my mercy. And in this new beginning, shame has no voice. Condemnation has no place. Only grace speaks. Only love leads. Only truth stands. I want you to look ahead, not with fear, but with hope. Not with suspicion, but with confidence. Because I am the one walking with you. I am the one who sees the whole picture, who knows the purpose behind every piece. And I say again, you are not disqualified. You are destined. Destined for beauty, for depth, for joy, for a future crafted by the hands of the one who knows you best and loves you most. So breathe. Stand tall again. You are not who you were. You are who I say you are. And that truth changes everything. There is a stirring inside you, subtle yet persistent. The call to rise, to stretch beyond what has felt safe, to believe again, not only in what could be, but in who you truly are. That voice is mine. I'm awakening what the world tried to numb. I'm resurrecting the pieces of your identity buried beneath fear, comparison, and years of survival. For too long, you've measured yourself through the lens of others, held yourself to standards never meant for your soul, and silenced the deepest parts of your spirit to fit into roles I never required you to play. But I made you unique, fearfully, wonderfully, and it is time to reclaim who I made you to be. You are not here to merely exist or to blend into the background of your own life. You are here to carry my presence, to reflect my heart, to move through this world with divine purpose etched into your being. And yes, the journey to embracing that truth can be painful. When you start peeling back the layers of false identity, when you begin questioning the lies you've lived under, discomfort rises. But discomfort is not a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that you're waking up, that you are stepping into alignment with my design, not the world's demands. I did not create you to be a copy. You were never meant to echo someone else's voice, dreams, or path. You were crafted to bring something to this world no one else can. And the more you walk with me, the more you will uncover not only what you're meant to do, but who you've always been beneath the layers of expectation. That is the gift of this new beginning. Not only the shift of circumstances, but the unveiling of true identity. The rediscovery of the soul I so carefully shaped in the secret place. You have tried to be small to stay safe. You've dimmed your light so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. You've hidden your passion to avoid rejection. But I did not place fire within you so you would learn to hide it. I placed it there so you would set the world ablaze with love, with truth, with justice, with hope. You are not too much. You are not too bold. You are not too different. You are exactly who I designed, and this world needs exactly what you carry. This process of transformation will require courage. It will ask you to shed old ways of thinking, to grieve versions of yourself that once served a purpose, but now no longer fit. There will be days when doubt whispers louder than truth, when stepping into your identity feels like stepping into a storm. But remember, I calm storms. I walk on waves. I breathe peace into chaos. And I walk with you, always. You will never go alone into the places I am calling you. My presence will steady your feet. My voice will be your compass. My love will be your covering. I will teach you how to discern my voice from the noise. It is the one that brings peace, not panic. The one that draws you closer, not drives you with shame. The one that reminds you who you are, not who the world demands you to be. And as you tune your heart to me, you will begin to move with a confidence that has nothing to do with appearance or achievement. It will be the kind of confidence that flows from being known by love itself. That is your foundation. Not approval, not applause, not performance. Just me, and that is enough. Do not be afraid to let go of what no longer serves who you're becoming. Sometimes, beginnings require endings, not because you failed, but because you've outgrown what once fit. I will give you the strength to release. I will give you the grace to grieve. And I will fill every space left empty with my presence. This is not about losing. It is about expanding, becoming, rising. You were created to rise, not in arrogance, but in freedom, in wholeness, in bold, beautiful trust. And every time you choose truth over fear, authenticity over performance, presence over distraction, you are rising. You are stepping into your divine identity. And the more you do, the more heaven rejoices, because every part of creation is designed to thrive when it lives from its truest form. You are no exception. I did not breathe life into you so you would stay stuck in cycles of self-doubt. I breathed life into you so you would reflect my image, my creativity, my compassion, my strength. Let yourself believe again. Believe that you matter. Believe that your voice is needed. Believe that your dreams were planted by me. Believe that your uniqueness is your assignment, not your flaw. And when fear says, who do you think you are? Let your spirit respond, I am who God says I am. That is not pride. It is truth. Holy, healing truth. And the more you speak it, the more your soul will rise to match it. This beginning is about more than healing. It is about reclaiming your name, the name I call you in the quiet, the name etched in eternity, the name that speaks of strength, tenderness, joy, courage, and purpose. You've worn many labels, some given, some assumed, but they do not define you. Only I do, and I call you chosen. I call you radiant. I call you daughter, son, warrior, friend. I call you mine. And when you live from that place, everything changes, not just around you, but within you. So stand up in your spirit, speak up with your truth, step up into the fullness of who you are. I will guide every word, every step, every decision. You don't have to know the entire path. You only need to keep walking with me. I will lead you into rooms you never imagined, into influence you never pursued, into impact that exceeds anything you thought possible. Not because you are chasing significance, but because you are abiding in me. And as you walk in this new beginning, clothed in truth, empowered by love and anchored in grace, you will become a living testament to the world of what it means to rise again, not by might, not by status, but by my spirit. You've spent so long bracing for disappointment that joy now feels foreign, fragile, almost dangerous. You wonder if letting yourself fully feel it will only make the fall harder when things change again. You've built walls, not out of bitterness, but out of protection. You've made peace with expectation's silence, telling yourself it's better to feel nothing than to risk everything. But I'm inviting you to let joy back in. Not the kind tethered to circumstances, but the kind rooted in me, the kind that dances even in the dark, that sings even when the outcome is uncertain. You were never meant to live in emotional exile. You were created to feel deeply, love freely, and rejoice fully. And I am here to show you how to do it again. Joy is not naive. It does not deny pain or pretend everything is perfect. True joy is forged in the fire of endurance and sustained by the certainty of my presence. It coexists with tears. It grows in the soil of sorrow It is not the absence of hardship. It is the awareness of me within it. When you choose to welcome joy again, you are not betraying your grief. You are honoring your resilience. You are saying, despite it all, I still believe. And that belief is sacred. It moves heaven. It stirs my heart. Because when you choose joy, you are choosing to see through my eyes that see the full story, not just the broken chapter. Many of my children live guarded, even in my presence, afraid that if they truly open their hearts, they'll be met with disappointment instead of delight. But I never tease you with hope. I never raise your expectations just to crush them. My timing may stretch your patience, but it never betrays your trust. I know when to bring breakthrough. I know how to heal the wounds you forgot you had, and I know exactly what joy your heart needs. Not the cheap counterfeit of temporary success, but the lasting joy that comes from knowing you are deeply loved, endlessly pursued, and securely held. I want you to laugh again. Really laugh. I want your smile to reach your eyes, not just your lips. I want your soul to feel light again, not because everything is fixed, but because you are free. Free from the lie that you have to earn peace. Free from the burden of carrying life on your own. Free from the false belief that you are only allowed to be happy when everything makes sense. You don't need to understand it all to enjoy this moment. You just need to be present in it. With me. That is where joy lives. In the present, not the past, not the future. Right here. Right now. I know how fear tries to choke your joy, how it whispers worst-case scenarios, plays old memories on repeat, makes you second-guess blessings as if they're booby-trapped. But fear is a liar. It does not protect you, it paralyzes you. It doesn't preserve peace, it robs it. And every time you choose joy in the face of fear, you are declaring war on the lies that have kept you small. Joy is a weapon. It disrupts the enemy. It releases strength. It realigns your spirit with truth. That is why the world cannot give you this kind of joy, and that is why it cannot take it away. Let yourself feel it, even if it scares you, even if it's unfamiliar, even if it makes you cry. Joy is not weakness. It's the sound of resurrection. It's what your soul has been craving. You've tried to survive on duty, alone. But you were created for delight. I wired you for wonder. I placed beauty in your path not as a distraction, but as a reminder of who I am. A God of abundance, a creator of color, a father who laughs with his children. Look around. Even now, the sky still paints itself in glory. The breeze still sings through the trees. These are my daily reminders that life is not just something to endure. It is something to experience, deeply and fully. And in this new beginning, joy will be your compass. It will not mean everything is easy, but it will mean you walk with light in your step and hope in your chest. It will mean you begin to recognize me not just in answered prayers, but in quiet moments of beauty. In the kindness of a friend, the warmth of sunlight, the melody of laughter, the comfort of stillness. These are not small things. They are sacred encounters. And the more you see me in them, the more your heart will open to receive the joy I've been holding for you all along. This joy is not shallow. It is the deep, sustaining kind. The kind that can hold you steady when storms come. The kind that cannot be faked, but cannot be shaken. You do not need to chase it. It is already chasing you. It's knocking at the door of your heart, asking only this: will you let it in? You may worry that if you let yourself feel joy, you'll become vulnerable again, that you'll be exposed to the pain you've worked so hard to avoid. But I promise you, joy does not make you fragile. It makes you strong. Because it connects you to me, the source of all life. And when you live connected to me, nothing can truly destroy you. Your joy will become resilience. Your laughter will become intercession. Your smile will become a testimony. Not that life has been perfect, but that I have been present, and that is enough. Let today be the day you give joy permission to return. Let it creep in through the cracks. Let it surprise you. Let it undo the heaviness you've carried. This is the promise of a new beginning, not just freedom from what was, but fullness in what is. I am not simply delivering you from the past. I am inviting you into abundance, into joy that doesn't wait for circumstances to change, but finds me in every circumstance. So dance, even if your feet still remember chains. Laugh, even if your voice trembles. Sing, even if your heart is relearning the tune. This joy is your inheritance. This freedom is your birthright. This new beginning was made not only to lift you, but to let you soar. This is where it begins to settle in, not just as a concept, not just as a distant hope, but as a living, breathing truth. The new beginning is real. You are not imagining it. You're not dreaming up change that will vanish with the next hard moment. I am the one doing this work in you, and I do not start what I will not finish. This transformation is not a phase or a fleeting feeling. It is the unfolding of something holy. You've sensed it, haven't you? In the way your heart is softer than it once was, in how quickly tears come, not just from pain, but from the awe of being seen, in how you're beginning to hope without apologizing for it. That's me. That's renewal. That's the fruit of grace working quietly but powerfully in your life. This promise I've made, to make all things new, is not only for the grand, dramatic seasons. It is for today, for the ordinary, for the gentle rhythm of your waking and sleeping, breathing and believing, falling and rising again. I do not wait for you to be ready. I make you ready through love. I do not wait for perfect conditions. I create space in the middle of your mess. I begin again, not when you have all the answers, but when you finally let go of the ones that were never mine. And this, beloved, is why today is so holy, because you are here, still standing, still listening, still choosing to believe, even with trembling hands. That is enough for me to move mountains. Do not underestimate what I am doing simply because it's not loud. Most of my miracles begin in silence, in soil, in places hidden from view, and what I plant in secret, I will reveal in time. The tears you've cried have watered the ground. The prayers you've whispered have stirred the heavens. And now, what was buried is beginning to grow. You may not see the fruit yet, but the roots are deepening. Your faith is stretching. Your heart is expanding. And what's ahead will be more beautiful than what you're leaving behind. Not because pain won't come again, but because you are becoming someone who walks through pain differently. This is the difference a new beginning makes. Not that life becomes perfect, but that you become anchored. No longer tossed by every wave, no longer enslaved by fear or guilt or need for approval. You begin to live from a different center, one rooted in my love, not in external outcomes. And when the world shakes, you will not be shaken. When others forget who they are, you will remember, because your foundation is not in circumstances, it's in me. I see how much you want to get this right, how much pressure you put on yourself not to miss what I'm doing. But child, beginnings are not performance-based. They are promise-based. This promise doesn't depend on how perfectly you walk it out. It depends on my nature. And I am faithful. I am patient. I am kind. I am not looking for your perfection. I am celebrating your yes. Every little yes matters. Every decision to show up, to try again, to open your heart, even a little more. These are not small things. They are sacred markers of progress, and I honor each one. You've asked me, how do I know I'm really starting over? And I answer you with this, because your heart is waking up. because the lies don't land the same way they used to, because you are beginning to crave truth more than comfort, healing more than hiding, presence more than performance, because the things you once tolerated are no longer welcome in the life you are building. And that shift, that holy dissatisfaction, is proof that I'm doing something new. You're not who you were, even if you don't yet fully see who you're becoming. Let that bring peace to your heart. I'm not in a hurry with you. I'm not rushing your process. I'm walking it with you, and I will walk it as long as it takes. There is no timer in the kingdom of heaven, no clock ticking down your worth. My love is timeless, and so is my commitment to your becoming. The promise I made you is not subject to expiration. It stands, even now. This is your invitation again, to breathe deeply, to exhale the striving, to let this new beginning be enough for today. You do not need to do more to prove it's real. You do not need to feel something dramatic to believe it. Sometimes, the most powerful shift happens in stillness, when you simply decide, I will trust you here. I will let you lead. I will no longer fight for control. I will walk forward, step by step, even if I only see the next inch of path. I know you want to see the full picture. I know how hard it is to walk by faith when sight is limited, but what I'm building is so much bigger than what your eyes can see right now. I'm crafting a life that will overflow with goodness. Not always the way you expect, but always in ways that satisfy the soul. And in time, you will look back on these moments, not with regret, but with gratitude. You will see that this was the place where you were remade, not because everything changed at once, but because you finally said yes to the God who never stopped believing in you. You are not walking into this new beginning alone. You are walking into it with me. And wherever I am, there is peace. There is provision. There is power. You don't have to bring it all. You just have to bring your heart. I will do the rest. Let's begin again together. You've reached the threshold, not of a finish line, but of the life I've been preparing for you all along. This is not the end of something. This is the arrival into a beginning that was always meant to be yours. You may not feel different. You may still sense traces of yesterday's ache lingering in your body, in your thoughts. But know this, something eternal has shifted. Not because of a feeling, not because of an outward sign, but because your heart opened to me in a deeper way. And when your heart opens even just a little, I flood the space with all that I am. You have crossed out of survival into presence, out of shame into truth, out of resignation into hope. And though the journey ahead will still contain valleys and shadows, you now carry something you did not have before, a lived confidence in my nearness. You've tasted my mercy. You've seen how I respond, not with wrath, but with welcome. And now you walk into tomorrow not with the weight of the past, but with the wings of promise. This is how I make all things new, not through erasure, but through redemption. I take what was broken and make it holy. I take what felt wasted and make it sacred. I take what you thought disqualified you and use it as a vessel of glory. This is the beginning of a different rhythm, one not driven by fear or striving, but led by peace. I'm inviting you into a life marked by rest in me, where your identity is not negotiated daily by your performance, but anchored securely in my unchanging love. Where success is not measured by comparison, but by your faithfulness to walk with me. Where joy is not fragile but deep. Where peace is not circumstantial but steady. This is what I desire for you. Not just once in a while, but daily, moment by moment, breath by breath. Then I will continue to walk with you, not just in the high moments, but in the mundane, not just in breakthrough, but in process. I will be there when you feel strong, and I will be no less present when your knees give way. I'm not a seasonal companion. I'm the eternal one, and my presence is not a reward for your progress. It is your inheritance as my child. You don't need to earn what I have already given you. You only need to receive it. With open hands, with an open heart, with a quiet yes. Do not worry about sustaining what has begun. I will sustain it. What I start, I finish. What I touch, I transform. What I bless, I multiply. You don't have to carry the weight of the future. You only have to stay close to me. I will guide you into the right doors. I will protect you from the wrong ones, and I will redeem even the detours. Trust not in your own strength, but in my faithfulness. I am not in a hurry. I delight in walking slowly if that's what your soul needs. And when you fall, and you will, I will not recoil. I will lift you, dust you off, and remind you again. You are mine. We are not going back. We are only going forward. This new beginning is a seed. It will grow. It may begin small, but within it is the potential of forests. Every decision to trust, every choice to forgive, every moment you choose love over fear, these are waters to the seed. Do not despise the quiet days. Do not fear the days when nothing seems to be moving. Beneath the surface, I am always at work. Faithfulness in the hidden places will yield fruit in the open, and that fruit will not be for you alone. It will be nourishment for others too. I am not just transforming your life. I am preparing you to carry transformation to others. So let this promise settle deep within your soul. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not lost. You are found. You are chosen. You are loved. You are beginning again, not because you failed, but because I'm always doing something new in you. Your story did not end where you thought it did. It begins here, in this breath, in this sacred moment of surrender. Walk boldly, speak truth, live freely, love deeply, and remember, I'm always with you, not as a fleeting presence, but as your constant source. When the world changes, I remain. When emotions rise and fall, I'm steady. When others walk away, I draw near. You can always come to me. I'm not just your creator. I'm your comforter, your counselor, your closest friend. And I will never leave you. Not now. Not ever. Let today mark more than a turning point. Let it mark a transformation. Let it be the day heaven rejoiced because one heart dared to believe again. Let it be the day you finally saw yourself through my eyes. Let it be the day that you, my beloved, stepped fully into the promise I've held for you all along. Welcome to your new beginning. It's been waiting for you. Amen. Now share this word with someone who needs to hear it. Let them know, I am still the God of fresh starts. I am still writing beautiful stories, and I am not finished yet.